Happy evening, Kritika. Happy evening, Durga. Sudhir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Happy evening. Thank you. Just sending message to the group. Let us see who will be joining. Happy evening, Hanuman.
Hey, hi Manish, same to you.
Yeah. So Kritika.
Can you give me access to screen share?
Yes, yes. Kritika, Durga, Sudhir, and Vidyadhari joined. Happy evening, Vidyadhari. Thank you for joining. Is Sushmita joining?
No, I'll just ping her.
Okay, sure. Happy evening, Abneshri. And happy evening, Abneshri. Happy evening, Sushmita. Thank you for joining the call. Hanuman, today Aishani and Gagana won't be joining. So I think we can proceed.
Okay, Manish, sure.
Yeah. Happy evening, Shivanesh. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining.
I hope you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Sir.
Yeah, great. Good that I see a couple of people at least talking. I'm happy that at the second session you guys are happy to talk. So yeah, so I on the day I just gave 4 tasks. I could see everybody has created their own branch. That means you already have a GitHub account, and I assume you guys have cloned the repository in your local, right? Did you find any difficulty in cloning the repository in your local?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay, what is the issue you are facing?
Sir, initially there was no main present in the repository.
Yeah.
So I created a main, then it is easy, but before that it was hard.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I saw that. Yeah. So after that I see uh, Vidyadhari and Sushmita haven't did any push, which is like last 4th one. I see all you guys have committed at least one push, which is index.html. I see Vidyadhari and Sushmita missed it. So did you guys face any Sushmita and Vidyadhari? Did you guys face any problem in pushing, or like why did you not push it?
Actually, we did it, I guess.
Okay, but then I don't see it in anywhere here, because if I go to your branch, I only see README file. There is no initial commit from your end.
Okay, we'll look at it once again.
Yeah, sure. I could only see Sudhir Gandhi, who has created the main branch. So only that I could see. So yeah, please do that and tell me if you guys face any problem in the initial push. Okay. So this is done,
Yeah.
I think. So having said that, I hope you guys got little familiar with GitHub. Okay, so probably one thing I see for Sudhir is I really wanted to. I don't know if Sudhir has known this prior or probably he did it, by learning. I really appreciate that he tried to create a pull request, because that's how in corporates people do, right? You will not never commit to your branch directly. We always create a pull request so that there will be a scrum master who will approve the pull request and they will commit into the branch. So this is how the pull request looks. So great, Sudhir. Great work on that. So if I want to approve, I'll just push my comments and merge pull request so that this whatever the changes he has done will be committed to the branch. So that's a good start. I really appreciate that. So having said that, today let's do one thing. Okay. So what I will do is just a minute, guys. So yeah, so I'll tell you a couple of things. Okay, so I don't know how I don't know if you guys have Windows or Mac PCs with you, but let's say let me clone this repo in front of you guys. Let's say, okay, if I'm doing this, so there are three types right here. One is HTTPS, one is SSH, and one is GitHub CLI. Okay, so GitHub CLI is not majorly used in the industry. These two are majorly used. Okay, let's say if you don't have permission to set your SSH key inside this project, then probably you will go with HTTPS kind of a clone. Otherwise SSH kind of a clone. So I did not create my branch because I thought probably I'll demo it right in the class so that if you could learn something from out of it, that would be great learning for you guys. Let me go there. Let me go to
Hanuman need to zoom it, increase the font size.
yeah, I'll do that. Sorry. I'll do that. Just a minute.
I think entire thing.
Yeah, I'll do that. Just a minute. Let me. Yeah, let me close this. You guys could see, right?
Yes,
One,
sir.
is it clear now? Yeah, okay, thanks. Sorry that I could not see your names who is speaking because since I'm sharing my screen. But thanks whoever said that. So yeah. Sweden. Just ignore what I'm just typing, okay? So let me try to do this with SSH, okay? I'll probably demo you like if you are using Windows, okay. So I recommend you to probably install something called this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it or not. So whatever I am doing now, right? You could able to do the same stuff in your Windows if you have this Git Bash downloaded, okay? So Git Bash is something which enables you to type Linux-based Git commands so that it will make your life easier, okay? So you can just download this Git Bash for Windows and you can type this, commands, right? So majority of the industry always use Linux over Windows. So I recommend you guys can also do the same. Okay. So when I'm trying to hit enter, git clone, see what happens. It is asking me for yes. Okay. It got copied into my clone, right? Because since I think Money has created this as a public repository, I would able to do that. Otherwise, if this would have been a private, okay, if you want to do this SSH kind of a stuff, okay, then you definitely need something like, let me show you. Okay, let me show you. If something is bouncing over your head, please let me know. But other than this, if this is not private, okay, I'll show you what you need to do. If you have this, let's say this is the repository you guys currently using. If you go to settings, right? Not settings. No. Here, yeah. Settings. You will have something called SSH and GPA. Okay. Here you need to add your key, your personal security key. Otherwise, you could not able to do this GitHub SSH wala clone. It will give you permission denied. Okay. So that is one thing. So we are good there. So you can also try using this SSH. So if you want to do HTTP way, then you can also do that. Let me delete whatever I've created. Internship, right? Yeah. So if you see, you don't see a folder there. Let me clone this again with HTTP. So this time I'm using HTTP. Since this is public, you could able to directly come here. Otherwise, let's say if I'm trying to clone one which has the security. Let's say let me try to clone one private repository. Okay, let's say this is the one. If I am trying to clone this. Okay, if clone. Okay, this has done because I'll tell you one. Okay, let me do one thing. See, okay, yeah. Let me clone from here. Sorry. Just a while, let me put it this like this. Okay, yeah, it will be much better. One. Okay, I think this is also public one. Let me get some private one. This private one. Okay. Okay, just a minute. Okay. I think it's because of the named profile system. No? Okay. So this is because I've included these folders here. That's the reason. So otherwise, what happens is, it will prompt you it will open a browser and it will prompt you for the username password when it's private, right? So then you have to give your password. Otherwise, you could able to do that. So since you have the access now for the money repository, so you can just try to do this SSH thing. Just type git clone and you can do that. Let me create a branch probably from here. So I am at SQL, sorry, not SQL, internship. So internship. And at 9. So you could see that, from main I have shifted to Hanu now, right? You could see the branch here. Then let me open Visual Studio Code. I don't know how many of you have downloaded Visual Studio Code. If not, I recommend you guys to please download Visual Studio Code. Okay, so which will have majority of the features what you're trying to do. Probably if you click on this, if you have this extension, okay, there is something called extensions in this. If you get the extension like this, if you type on get, I have already have this extension installed, right? So it makes my life a little easier. Let's say if I'm clicking on this, it will give me options like, publish this branch, like majority of the options it will give me. So let's say, let me add a file here. Let's say text HTML. Okay, so I have one more this thing called prettier. Okay, so that will help me. This is the prettier extension. So that will help me fill the commands. I don't have to type it the whole command. So it will automatically fill up for me. I just named it wrong. Okay, let's so I'm just saving this. I'm clicking on terminal. So git status will give you the exact status, like where is the current branch looking at. So git add star. If you want to add the whole repository, otherwise, if just one single file, then you can add git add int. If you see git status now, you could able to see that the changes to be committed. It is ready. It is added and to be committed. If you see above, it is asking to add the changes. Okay, so you can see the similar thing here as well. It is ready to commit. If you commit from here also, you just type the message and commit here also. If you have Visual Studio Code extension, otherwise you have to type the commands here. Git commit -m. So two ways you can do that. Git commit -m, and you can add your messages right here, or probably if you enter like this by mistake, so it will by default create a space for you to type the message, and you would be able to type initial comment. Okay, sorry. And I can do one more commit also directly from there. Hello world. Okay, so if I said git status now, it will say that there is one modification happened, okay, which need to be committed. So git add start. If I see git status now, you will be able to see that one file is changes are done. You see it is in green. So previously it was in red because there is one change which is not added. Now it is added. Now I can do.
Hanuman, can you increase the font size?
Oh, sorry. Now is it okay? Minus and second. Okay. So there is one change, file change, one insertion happened. Actually two insertions happened, but then it is saying one because the first one we have already committed from the using this command, right? Git commit, right? This we are committed one where this is the 3 insertions happened already. So this is only one insertion which is trying to commit. So that's why it says one file change and one insertion happened. So when you try to push, okay, it will not happen because it says there is no branch with the name Hanu at the remote repo. right? So there is no branch here, right? Currently, because of which it is failing, and it will give you a handy command where you could just copy this and paste this. So it will create a upstream for your remote repository from your local, so that there is a new branch created. If you see, the branch has been created, right? So this is one way. If you click here, probably you will see my name Hanu here. So if you go to commits, you could able to see 3 commits, because initial commit has been made by Sudhir. Okay, so other 2 commits you could able to see. I don't know if I could show this like this. Yeah, so you could able to see, okay, right? So one thing, additional thing probably you can also do is to make your life simpler, okay? So there is something called, some tool called Git Desktop. I think I have already installed it in my local, let me show, yeah, it is there. Okay, it is already there. Existing repository. Okay, let me choose the existing repository. Yeah, now we are ready to add. Okay. GitHub and then internship. So if I open it here, right? Let me add it later. So whatever the changes you do, right? You could able to see it here. Let's say if I'm trying to do one change, let's say how are you doing? Okay. If I'm saving it here, I could able to see the same change here happening, and I can just type my message here. Okay, let's say commit, and I could able to commit the change here. If I push origin from here, okay, it is asking me to sign in here. Okay. So let me sign in. I'll continue with browser. I don't want the signing to happen in this browser. Okay, when I click on push origin, it just pushed. So you don't need to go through all those commands. This is much simpler way when you really wanted to push. If I probably go and see here, refresh this page, you would be able to see the third commit, like coming here. Okay, so I just added like doing what. So this is one method you guys can use. Okay, so having said that, so whatever I just spoke now, right? Everybody is comfortable, right? Do you have any questions there? guys? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions there?
No, sir. Coming.
Okay, great. So is there a okay. So that's one thing. So is there any other thing you want to learn how to do in GitHub? You wanted to know probably like how to do this. So I'll tell you one thing. So the Git actions is something like where we configure stuff like, let's say there is a new commit coming into Git, right? So you can you can predefine Git using their actions to what it need to be done. Okay, let's say if you want to probably once there is a push happening from one branch, you want somebody to notify, or you want it to copy the code somewhere, or probably you want GitHub to probably push the code somewhere else also at the same time. So we use Git actions for all those things. And what else? The code you always know, but this is the one thing. So if there is a change with the main branch, you can always come here, click compare and pull request, so that it will create a pull request comparing these two branches. So that's how you can create your own pull request if you want. So that's one thing. You can also do, let's say if you go to my branch, right? So this is the file, right? You can always come and edit the file here and probably commit from here as well. Okay. So once you edit the file, this will be enabled. Click on commit changes so that it will commit the changes. So that's one more way you can do your commits. I think we are good. The basics of Git, I think we have covered. So there you can also get the GitHub Desktop download link here. Okay, you can just download this and probably use it. That's one more thing. I think pretty much basic stuff you always have. Okay. So this ends our basis of Git. So second thing I wanted to do is there are two things. Okay. So on that day I was showing you, right? There is something called Ionic. Ionic Vue. Okay. So you can start learning Ionic Vue, which gives you a feel of mobile application from the beginning. Okay, you don't have to struggle hard to probably get your application building, right? So you also have your examples like build your first app, like how to build your first app in Ionic Vue. If you follow these steps, you could able to have a mobile application which will take photos, save photos, load photos, and you could able to live the application where you can share a link and people would be able to use your application from anywhere. Okay. So this is the basic tutorial which is already there here. Apart from that, I will also give you some YouTube videos where you could able to learn over the week. Ionic is one thing. Okay. And there is something called Vue.js, which I have already told you, right? Probably Beautify. So Beautify is a framework added on top of Vue.js, which also similarly simplifies the things for you. Let's say if you want to have a dialog box, okay, you click on that, you could able to click. If you click on that, you see a dialog box, right? So the code for this is already here. You just need to copy the code and paste it there. So this will give you like easy development, right? You don't have to write everything from the scratch, scratching your head. So there is already a code. So one thing, guys, this is not this, so developers, right, across the world. Okay. So one good thing about development is you can always reuse the code. You don't have to reinvent the wheel from the beginning. Right? You don't, nobody wants you to spend time to create something which is already existing. Okay. So while implementing this itself, you will get so many errors. But before that, I just want you guys to learn some basics so that you understand what is this. Okay. So for that, I'll probably share you some video links today, which you can start off. Okay. So if you really wanted to get the kind of a mobile kind of a view, I recommend you guys go with Ionic, because Ionic Vue has some major advantages in terms of mobile viewing. Okay. Which others don't have exactly the same way. So probably on the day, as I was showing you, right, the E2S app, whatever I have written code for, let's say, so package.json is the file where you can see all your dependencies, right? So if you see your dependencies here, I can show you. So you see, right, we have built this in Ionic Vue. Okay. So yes, I think I've already typed on the yeah. No. Here we cannot see it better. How this would be. Okay, this doesn't have it this time. Let me switch to my profile. So you could see kind of a very good, mobile interface, right? This is because of the Ionic only. So you see it more like of a mobile, right? So it feels like a mobile. It looks like a mobile because it's built on Ionic Vue. Okay. So whatever you see here, right? Everything looks like a mobile front end. Let's say electricals. Okay. You see kind of a very good view. Let's say if you click on book now, you could able to see the kind of, okay, this look and feel. It looks exactly like a mobile view because of the Ionic Vue.js. Okay, so Ionic Vue provides you with much better mobile view rather than Vue.js. Okay? So that's why I am recommending you probably go with Ionic Vue. I can show you the components. I think I've shown you on the day, but let me try. Yeah, here we have. So yeah, so here we have. Let me show you one modal. I'll probably do it modal. Yeah. So if you see, right, you clearly see modal here. If you click on Vue.js, you click on open modal, you could able to clearly see that the right modal is opening, right? It pretty much looks like a this thing. Probably if you are creating on Android, it looks like this. Okay. If you are going for iOS, it looks like this. Let's say I will probably give you a major difference you could see probably from the probably toggle, because Android segment also, yeah, probably I can show you. Segment looks different. No, not segment. One major difference probably you could see is, yeah, select. Select one major difference you could see in the iOS and here. So if you click on iOS, iOS looks like this. If you click on Android, right? Android looks like this, right? You could relate, right? You guys could relate like how it is changing, right? So depending upon whatever code you choose, you can just copy from the below and you can implement it. Okay. If you click on view, yeah, you would able to select the right code so that you can implement that. Okay. So code basically won't change when you click on this. There is something called build. Okay. If you probably, when I was initially talking, right, there is one basic app they have given for, let's say, Vue.js, adding deploying mobile. Yeah. In the deploying mobile, here you will choose whether to go with Android or iOS. Okay. It's your choice. If you want to go with iOS, you can go with iOS. Or if you want to go with Android, you can go with Android. So whatever you decide, it will create a build file for that. So once it is created, you could able to see a app which is beautiful like this. Okay. So in whichever mobiles. So this is a screen from the Android Pixel, and this is a screen from the iOS. Okay, Apple. So you could able to test it if you are using for Android. Probably you could able to test it using Android Studio. And if you are trying for an app for iOS, then probably you could able to choose it. If you want to really launch and try, then you could do it. So or else you can do both. Let's say you can do both Ionic and iOS, Android and iOS both. So it's your choice. Okay. So that you can do. So this is one beautiful thing. So you normally write your code right in the HTML and CSS in Vue.js, but then the Ionic will do all the things at the backend of converting it to iOS app and Android app. So it takes all the effort for you guys so that you don't have to learn either Swift or Android SDK, right? So you don't have to learn two separate things to build one single app, right? So Ionic will take care of everything at the back end. Okay. So that's why I want you guys to probably go with Ionic so that it will, it's a basically a progressive hybrid, platform where you could able to develop two kinds of applications. And one more beauty of this is, let's say if you want to use it for the web, okay. So the same application, if you are deploying, probably if you're using by hitting the URL in the browser, it will work as a web application as well. It's not that it only works in mobile. You can use it in the laptop also. It will work. Okay. So that's the thing we have. But one thing is, if you want to use some native tools, like let's say taking a photograph, okay, from your mobile, then it need to use some native features like camera, messaging, or probably any native feature. Then you need one plugin called Cordova. Okay, so Cordova is one plugin which you need to install so that you could use all the core functionalities of the basically of the device. Okay, so you can see basically everything beside. If you want to put anything, you could able to do probably radio
Last
button.
1.5 minute more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mani, yeah.
You can
So you can do everything. So,
ask for
yeah,
any
I
doubts and you can give any task after this.
yeah. So I'll share you one video from the YouTube so that you could able to learn. Probably it's a 2-hour video or probably kind of a series which majorly 1 to 2 hours max, which is Ionic Vue. Probably this tutorial. This guy is a very good guy, Maximilian. This guy's name is. So I actually learned Vue from this guy, from Udemy. Since my job doesn't require a development, but then I learned from this. I'll share this video. So probably Mani will just quickly connect back on the same link, just to ask people if they have any questions. Okay. Hello, Mani.
Fine, Hanuman. If you want to join
Yeah,
back,
just
we all
5
can join.
minutes. Just 5 minutes. Let's connect back to the same link, just
Okay.
to have the final course. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. So
Okay.
hi all. Now let's
stop-
connect back to
stop.
the same link.
Yeah, Mani, just stop it. Probably we'll just connect back. Same
No,
link.
it will automatically end.
Okay.
Even if I stop also, that won't get in.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah. I can end the meeting for all. Let's all connect back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.